Hello and welcome to this video. Now in this video, I'll be going to discuss about nested if statements in Java. So first of all, let me say you what do you mean by a nested if statement. So you can see in my screen that I have written one of the if statement with a condition named as condition 1. Now if the condition 1 is satisfied, then the sum of the following statement will be executed to my console over here. And then further inside this if statement, I have declared another if statement with condition 2, and corresponding to the condition 2, some of this statement will be executed in my console if the condition 2 is satisfied. Like this way of representing two if statements in Java is known as the nested if statements. So I would say that this if statements this if statement is nested inside this if statement. All right, so this is the outer if statement and this is the inner if statement. All right, so this is how nesting works in Java. All right, nesting of if statements. So we can also nest else, we can also nest else if. All right, so let me just declare a scanner class over here. Let me show you how we can work with nested if statements in Java. So scanner sc equals new scanner system dot in. All right, I would say system dot out dot print, enter the value of x, and let's say int x equals sc dot next int, and then again I would say system dot out dot print, enter the value of y, int y equals sc dot next int. All right, so I just declared two prompts. So when I will run my program, I'll be prompted to enter the value of x and y. Okay, so now I'll be just giving my first if statement with a condition. So I would say if the condition 1 is x modulus 2 is equals 0. So, and initially I will create an block over here using curly braces, and then further I will just write another if statement inside this if block. All right, inside this if block, and I would say if y modulus 3 is equals 0, then simply if this two condition is satisfied, so first of all if x modulus 2 is satisfied, then it will jump to my second if statement, which is having a condition as y modulus 3 is equals 0, and if these two conditions are satisfied, so this println statement will be executed as x is x modulus 2 is equals 0 and y modulus 3 is equals 0. All right, so let me just run this program in my IDE, and you can see that in my console it will be prompting me to enter the value of x. So I'll be giving the value of x as 14, which is divisible by 2, and I'll be giving the value of y as 21, which is also divisible by 3. So if I would hit enter, it's saying that x modulus 2 is equals 0 and y modulus 3 is equals 0. So because the two conditions are satisfied at in my Java program, this println statement is successfully executed to my console window. Okay, now if any of the condition here is not satisfied, so I'll be giving an else statement, and I would say system.out.println, and I would say x modulus 2 is not equals 0 and y modulus 3 is not equals 0. So I'll be giving certain numbers, and that is not a modulus, that is like I'd say not divisible by 2 or not divisible by 3. So it's prompting me to enter the value of x now again. So I'll be going to my console and enter the value of x as 15, which is not divisible by 2, and the value of y has 16, which is not divisible by 3. So if I would hit enter, so we can see that neither of the condition is satisfied in the two if statements, like x modulus 2 is not satisfied and y modulus 3 is also not satisfied. So this else statement will be executed to my console instead of this println statement. Alright, now if I would hit enter, you can see this else statement is executed. That is, x modulus 2 is not equals 0 and y modulus 3 is not equals 0, because the above two conditions are not satisfied. So like this is one way of representing an nested if statement in Java. Alright, so we can also nest else statement and else if statement. So let me just show you another example by taking like this condition also. Okay, I would say if x modulus 4 is equals 0, and I will be creating a block, and I would say system.out.println, and I would say x is divisible by 4. Okay, and further I would say that if x modulus 2 is equals 0, then print x divisible by 2. All right, so like let me just comment this prompt over here. So I'll be just entering the value of x, and I have given this if statement which holds a condition as x modulus 4 is equals to 0, and if the condition is satisfied, then this println statement will be executed to my console. All right, and further inside this if statement I have given another if statement over here, which is saying that if x modulus 2 is equals 0, then this println statement will be executed. Okay, now I would just run this program over here. All right, so enter the value of x. I'll be giving a value like 16, which is both divisible by 4 and 2. If I would hit enter, it's saying that x is divisible by 4 and x is divisible by 2. So instead, if I would give the value of x as say 18, which is not divisible by 4, it's saying that like, so neither of the condition is like this condition is not satisfied, so this println statement will be not executed. So what happens over here, that you'll be thinking that this condition is not satisfied, so this println statement is not executed. It's correct, but what about this if statement? So let me say you, like if this condition is not satisfied, so it will not check this if statement also. All right, so like if the outer if statement is not satisfied with like his condition, like x modulus 4 is not equals 0 in our case, which holds a value of 18, so this if statement will not be checked by our Java compiler. Okay, so this is how nested if statement works in Java. Okay, so in this video we learned about how to declare a nested if statement, how to work with nested if statement using like this two if condition over here, and again we just saw that how to like work with this kind of nesting of if statement. So once again I will tell you over here that here in this if statement, if this condition is true, then this condition will be checked by the Java compiler. But if this condition is not true, which is like for the value of x is equals 18, which is not divisible by 4, we can say x modulus 4 is not equals 0, then this if statement will be not checked by the Java compiler. All right, so this was all about nested if statement in Java. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.